Whenever you're ready, you're good.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for showing up today. And so today, even though by this I did not write this, but this is how to have a killer buyer presentation. So I just want to go through with you guys on what I do. I'm going to share with you what I do for my buyer consultation. And actually, before we get started, I'd like to know how many of you actually do a buyer presentation with your buyers. Okay, so I see Doug raise his hand, but I have no idea how many people raise their hand online.
People on Zoom, how many people actually do buyer presentations with their buyers?
I do, but it's not very formal.
Okay, that's Dean.
That was
We got
Dean?
we got Dim. Wow. We got Roseanne, Mercedes, Dean, Jim, Kian, and someone named iPhone. I don't know who that is.
Well, okay. Well, if you're not doing this, I recommend doing this because every time I do this presentation, and I get the buyer broker agreement signed every time. So it is one way, and for those of you who don't understand what a buyer broker agreement is, it's a literal contract, okay? It is different from agency disclosure. The agency disclosure form is just an acknowledgement that you are representing that person. It's not a contract, okay? Where the buyer broker agreement is a valid contract. And the only way that a buyer can get out of that contract is through the broker. It's not even, you can tell the broker, yes, release the client, but the brokerage is the one that actually has to let that buyer out of the contract. So it is a solid contract, and it's great to have because it protects you. It also protects the buyer. And so what we'll do is we'll do a buyer broker class so that you can really, get into, the ins and outs of the buyer broker agreement. Today I'm going to take you through how to have a killer buyer presentation, because I think most consumers really don't understand all that we do as real estate agents. And this is a great way to really share with them exactly everything that we do. So most of you online aren't going to be able to, I'll have copies of this here in the office. So next time that you come in, you can take a look at it and see what it looks like. And but I'm going to take you through it today. So
I can add these things right now to the library so they can view it in Brokerman.
Say that again?
I can add this to the library in Brokerman right now so they can view it.
Yeah, the buyer broker agreement is already out there. The buyer presentation is out there. And so the buyer presentation, I'm going to go ahead and just start going through some of this. So the buyer presentation is online in the library. It is in a PowerPoint format or a PDF format. If you have PowerPoint, download it and you can edit so that you have your name. See, it's right now it's finding your new home, but it have your name and information on there, okay? So this is already pre-done, and this is a roadmap for your presentation. You literally can flip these pages and talk about the bullet points throughout the whole presentation right here in there. We did all the hard work for you. All you got to do is go in and edit it. If you download the PDF version of this, you can upload it to Canva and you can edit it in Canva so you can make all the changes. Or you're going to have the Adobe editor so that you can go in there and edit the PDF to put all and make the changes yourself. So I'm going to go through everything in this folder and then I'll go through it one by one. So here's everything I have in it. So the first thing is obviously the buyer presentation, which I'm going to take you through in just a minute. The other thing that I have in here is I have this really cool flyer because I share this even in my listing presentations too, but you can see in the center that it says agent, but then if you read all the bubbles, these tell all the different things that we do. From negotiating contracts, right, to writing the offer, showing homes, right? All the different things that we do are all listed in this bubble. And it's amazing when I show this to the client, start just going through some of the things that we actually do, well, they start going, wow, you guys actually do a lot of stuff. Yes, we do. We do a lot of research, we do negotiation, we're writing offers, we're showing homes. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that we do that they don't know that we do. And so you can see amount of bubbles on here, all the different things that you can do. I mean, that us agents do for them. So I have that in there, and this is a talking point. So this is where I talk about all the different things that we do. So going through the buyer presentation, then I have everything we do as an agent, and then I go through some other things. I'm going to go through these individually in a moment. The house hunting checklist. I also have a buyer questionnaire. So this buyer questionnaire allows you to get a lot of, it's 2 pages. It's actually 3 pages total, but it's 2 pages. And it's a lot of information about what the buyer's looking for, about them. There's just a lot of great information on here. Now, typically what I'll do, especially before the meeting, I will send this to the buyer and say, hey, I know that, we've got a meeting tomorrow. I wanted to send this buyer questionnaire out. This is going to help me understand a lot about what you're looking for and help you find the perfect home. So if you don't mind filling this out before you come in tomorrow, before our meeting, I would greatly appreciate that. If not, you can do it with them in the presentation. I've done both. So I've sent it out and they filled it out and brought it in with the meeting with me, or I've literally filled this out with them in the meeting. So up to you. I highly recommend sending it out before because it is a lot of information, and just tell them to have that prepared for you at the meeting. The other thing that I bring is the buyer broker agreement. I bring it with because I am going to try to get this signed after the meeting. So I have that in there, and then I also have a buyer's guide. So this one's by Security Title. You can see, in the buyer's guide, there's great information in here. Also, one of the important things, I got to just find it here because I know it's in here, is a sample contract. So in the buyer's guide is a sample contract. So if you're working, especially with a first-time home buyer, this is really, really good information. And then you can also even go take them through the sample contract and what it looks like and how all that's going to work. So you can see that I bring a lot of information with me to the buyer presentation. Okay? Any questions so far? Everybody with me?
Yep. Good info.
Okay, so now when I initially get to the meeting, I'm not rushing right into anything, okay? I am going to obviously explain pleasantries with them, and I'm going to, get to know them a little bit. So, especially if I don't really know them. If they're a referral, I'm going to talk about thanking that referral person, and then I'm going to get to know them a little bit, okay? Which the buyer questionnaire, this is if you've got it filled out and they've sent it back to you or they brought it, this is something that you can go through, okay? But I don't go through this first. So after I exchange the pleasantries, and I want to talk to them about, how I'm going to help them find a new home, which is the buyer presentation, okay? So I'm going to take them through the presentation because they can't see it online, can they? If you're all on your laptops, you can go to the library so you can follow along with me. Go into Brokerment, go into the library, go into buyer presentation, listing presentation, and you can download it so you can go through this with me. And I'll give you guys a minute to do that. Just kind of let me know when you've all gotten there so that... Trying to get this staple out.
Staple it together.
There we go.
I could share it on the screen here too.
Just let me know when everybody's ready.
I'm good.
And I'll go through each page.
I'm good. I'm good too.
Okay, I heard 2 people out of, I think, 6 on there.
We got 9.
I got it too.
Okay, all right, it's 3. 3 more.
I pulled it up on Zoom too, so they can see it.
Oh, they can see it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through
I
it. So,
got it.
So basically the first page on there is going to say finding your new home, right? So now I'm going to get into what it is that I'm going to do for them, okay? So finding your new home is going to have your name and information on it, okay? On the next page, so literally this is meant that you can actually flip it, right? So this is here the first page, and then you could actually flip each page. So you can do it like a presentation. Does that make sense? So, and you can print it how you want. If you want to do a portrait, that's up to you, but this is in landscape format, and it's meant that you can flip it. Now, I do have, a digital presentation, which is what I would do most of the time. I would still put this in there so they have it and they can keep it with them. And then I would present this off of my computer. If I'm in the office, I'm going to do it in the conference room on the big screen so that I can go through with them, have this information laid out, and then I'm going to be sitting with them and go through it on the screen, okay? So you can do it from your laptop too, because if you're meeting them in their home, or if you're meeting them at Starbucks, or you meet them in the office, I like to meet them in the office if you can get them to meet you at your office, because especially like our office, it's busy. There's always a lot of people in our office, right? A lot of staff, a lot of things that are going on. So that lets them know that, hey, this is a busy real estate office. Does that make sense? So I like to do it in the office if I can get it there. I will meet them wherever it's convenient. I'm fine with Starbucks. I'm fine with their home. Their home is even better because that means they might probably have a home to list. If they're going to buy, you want to be able to, get the opportunity for the list too. So if you're going to meet them there. But my number one preferred place is the office. I want to meet them in the office, okay? So I've exchanged the pleasantries. I got to know them a little bit. And now I'm going to get into why I'm the agent for them, okay? So first page, I'm going to flip it. It's going to be your bio information. So the very next page is about me, and it's your bio. This is your opportunity to start sharing with them why you're the agent for them, okay? Now my bio would have 21 years experience, so mine would show that I not only have lending experience, investment experience, real estate experience, business development, growing a company. I would share them that I am a wealth of knowledge, right? So you have that opportunity to share that. If you're a new agent, you can still share your information, okay, on here, because if you have background and experience, people just want to know, they just want to know a little bit about you is what I'm trying to say. So your bio isn't just business, it can be personal too. You can add, have a family of 3, love to travel, that kind of thing. They want to know you're a real person too, not just how great you are in the accolades of business. It's who are you, okay? So you're going to share with them that, you're a human being and I have a family. I'm just like you, right? That's kind of what you're related. You're trying to relate here and build a relationship, not just to show how great you are. That's not what this is really about, okay?
What would you put if you don't have, if you've only been doing it for a month or 2?
Yeah, when I to be honest with you, when I first started this, I wasn't very experienced, so I didn't really use a bio page. I skipped this page because I didn't want to, I felt a little uncomfortable about saying I'm only 6 months in the business, right? So I didn't share that. Now, however, I did share with them who I am, if that makes sense, without using this page. So I did talk a little bit about me, because you notice that's literally the first page. So if you remember, you exchanged pleasantries in the beginning. So now I shared a little bit about me with them so they could see that I'm a human being too. For me, it was like, I have a son, I love to hike. These different things. I shared some things with them about me so that we could relate, okay? So I didn't do my bio page until later, just because by my second year in the business, I did 27 transactions and did 10 my first year, so I'm about almost 50 deals in, right? So between flips and all that stuff, so in 2 years, so for me, then I started to list my experience because I had that. But you don't have to if you're newer, so that's what I did. I didn't share it, but I shared about me. I shared, you know what I mean? That's what I did. I still tell them, just different things about, like I said, I would be share my family experience, I'd share my history, I would share things like that just to relate to them. But if you're new...
You could also tell them that you're passionate about real estate, why you got into real estate.
Exactly.
I love to show houses. I love to open houses.
Your why you got into real
Why you
estate.
got to
Yeah,
tell them
yeah.
the whys. And it's
Absolutely.
okay to say you're new.
That's great advice. I would throw in, I would definitely talk about me, relate to them, and why you are a real estate agent. That's absolutely, but that's what this is for. So the bio's there, why are you in real estate? A little bit about you, and then from there. So if you're newer, focus on your why, and don't worry about putting past experience in there, okay? So then if you go to the next page, this is the same thing. I did not put this in there at first because this says about my career. I did in my second year, I started to do that because I was closing business and I felt comfortable being able to say, hey, I got 10 years of mortgage, I got a couple years of real estate, and I had a lot of experience behind me. But this is another page you do not have to use, it's just in there if you want to. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about this presentation is you can add to it, you can take away from it. So as you look through it and say, I like this, I don't like that, you can absolutely take it out. It's editable. You can take it out of there. I didn't use this at first, but then again, I did start using it after I was in my second year in the business. I started doing that. So again, about your career, and this is where if you graduated from college, you get to explain the different accolades and milestones in your life that you've achieved. You can use this page for that. Okay.
Would that be something that you'd put, like, if you went to college and stuff like that?
Yeah, why not? If you went to Yale, you went to Harvard, you went to ASU, and think about it. If you went to ASU, that says, hey, I'm a local person. I really know this area. I graduated ASU. I've lived in the Valley for 20 years. These are different things that you could go along these, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's being able to share your experience in there. So, and think about it. If you were new to the Valley, new to the business, you know what I mean? Then I might not use this. But if you've been here for 5 years or more, they're going to say, yeah, I've been here since this time. I graduated from ASU, or it doesn't matter where you graduated. But basically, the only time I wouldn't use this if I was a brand new agent. That's the only time I wouldn't. After I've been a year in the business, I would just build out this and show all about me, okay? So then the next stage is really about Barrett Real Estate. So Barrett Real Estate, we service Arizona. We were established in February 2022, and our office is located in Gilbert, Arizona. So some people say, well, you're a new real estate company. Well, this is where I can expand and say, yes, we're new as a real estate company, but we're not new in the business. Ownership has almost 100 years experience. So between the owners, right? And then our brokers, our staff, these are people that have been well established in the business. So we've all built companies before. And so as a company at Barrett Real Estate, we're striving to be just like our sister company, which is in all 50 states, did over $10 billion in business last year. So we are a company that knows how to succeed. So you can share that. And you can even say, and as a real estate company, we're already over 160. We're going to be 170 agents by the end of the week.
Jesus.
So 170 agents in 12 months is amazing. So you can really share the growth of what this company's doing. So when people say you're new, well, you've got a lot of armed information to be able to say, we're new, but we know what we're doing. Okay? So that's what this page is for. Okay? So you start out here, and then you did the bio, and then you talked about your career, and then about Barrett Real Estate. Okay? So the next page, now this is really the core of the presentation right here. It's called the Buyer's Roadmap. So what you're going to do, and you can see the very first one, is you're going to walk them through every part of the process of what it takes to start with them right this day all the way to closing. Okay? So in here, it says meet with a real estate professional. Well, you're already going to share with them. We're already doing number one. So today you're meeting with me to learn about me. I'm going to learn about you. We're going to decide if this is a great relationship. And then I'm going to share with you how I'm going to take care of you, right? Then you can go into step two. Well, the very first process after this meeting is making sure that you're pre-approved for a loan. So, and this is the part where these are all bullet points for you to talk about all the different things. So you see how the next slide right here, it says, well, one is, are you ready to buy, which is the stage one, is what you're meeting there today. So every slide after this are all the bullet points to this roadmap. Okay? So what you get to do is, as you say, this is the roadmap, I'm going to explain to you from this meeting all the way to closing a loan with me, all the steps of the process. And so as you flip the pages, the bullet points are already there for you to talk about. So it's really a step-by-step process to say, are you ready to buy? Here's some things that are important to getting pre-approved. One is steady income. We need at least 2 months, pay stubs, or 1 month pay stubs, 2 months bank statements, right? Debt ratio is important when buying a home. Talking about these different things. What the down payment and closing costs would look like, and just some sample things, right? Getting pre-approved, consulting a lender, right? Filling out a loan application, getting approved with pending conditions, right? So all of these things explain exactly what each step of the roadmap is. So this is literally your presentation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions on that? So so we just did the first two. You're meeting with the real estate professional. You're starting to talk about how the process starts, getting pre-approved, and that's talking to a loan officer, right? Getting all the documents they need to submit them so they can send it for automated underwriting. And you explain that they're going to submit it through their DU or LP, which is automated underwriting, and it's going to spit out either an approval, pending conditions, or sometimes it's an approve eligible, which means we can approve this loan if we can meet these requirements, and then it goes back into underwriting for final approval, right? Same with if it's an approval with conditions, saying they got a full-blown approval, but we need these. Once the underwriter signs off on this, we can go to a final approval, right? So you're going to explain that process. And one of the best ways to understand it even better is to meet with your lender. So you guys should all be calling Jacqueline up or your lender that you're working with and say, hey, I want to sit down with you because I really want to understand exactly what you do when you meet a client, so that I can explain it whenever I'm not only in a buyer consultation, but if I'm ever asked a question about it, I can at least answer the question and refer them to you, right? So you're going to walk them through the getting pre-approved, right? Now, the next part is, okay, you've been pre-approved. So the next step is now we're going to start and search for your home. Okay, now going through this part here is you're going to be like, look, understanding what you're looking for is a top priority to me. So guess what comes out? The buyer questionnaire, right? So this is where you get to go through the whole buyer questionnaire and look at all the things in it. Now, if you've already gotten it, you're going to be prepared, because you're going to already have it. And if you're like me, if I can see all the parameters and everything that they're looking for, I'm probably going to have what? A few examples of the properties based on their information on my computer, ready to...
You might even be sending them searches already.
Yep, you've already set them up on a portal search. You already have that because you've gotten the information ahead of time, and you've already set them up on a portal search where there's properties already ready and waiting for them. So now I get to go through the buyer questionnaire, confirm any of this stuff, make sure there's not any changes or anything, and go through and get this confirmed. And then I can literally go over to the computer and show them, here's the portal search I've set you up on. You should have received an email so that you can log in and search for properties on your own, and I show them how to do it. So when you've got two powerful technology tools, you got Chime, which you're going to set them on the portal search and Chime, and you got the Barrett mobile app. And if you don't have the Barrett mobile app, you should, because that is a great way, because that's like Zillow. They can do everything. It's just like Chime too. They could do everything they could do on Chime right on the mobile app as well. They can do free home evaluation. They can do their home search. Obviously, they can save everything. It does a lot of great stuff on there. So I'm taking them through this. Here's the other thing, the house hunting checklist. I'm going to go through this too, because this is another way of confirmation of exactly what they're looking for. So when you look at the sheet, you can say, this. Actually, this is for when you go show properties. Does sorry. But you're gonna share this with them and say, hey, once we start looking at hot properties, this is your house hunting checklist. This is gonna say you like it, you don't like it, you know, it has notes, they could write the property address on here, and why this is important. So what I used to do before I created this is I used to take I should have brought an MLS sheet of an example property. I used to put like when I go on showings, and this is what you're gonna tell them. You're gonna say, hey, when we go on showings, you're gonna have this house hunting checklist, you're gonna have a folder just like this.